Welcome back to the Good Talk, the show where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, and what's new in the World of Warhammer in this ever-changing landscape. We have an exciting episode today, of course, because there's a ton of things to talk about, and I'm very, very excited. There's almost too much to pack into a single episode. Today, I am joined not by the fabulous Zach, but the incredible Dr. Mel. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I am truly living my best life because I am not in charge of mics. I'm not in charge of cameras. I'm just in charge of chat. It's really where I thrive.
I'm so proud of you. This is an exciting time. Of course, we've got Dr. Mel joining us. She's going to be answering any questions and helping along today. We have a lot to discuss. We're going to be doing some hot takes, looking at reveals, discussing. We have lots of opinions on them. I know you guys do as well. And of course, as always, this is a discussion, not a lecture. So of course, join in on the chat. So yeah, super exciting stuff. Of course, if you haven't already, do consider liking, subscribing, hit that button down below. Costs you nothing, and we can get more of this content discussing the events of the day. Yes, excuse the beanie. I need to get my hair cut, and it's the holiday season.
I'm on strike.
Mel refuses to cut my hair. She says she won't do it anymore.
I cut your hair during the pandemic, and you can now go get your hair cut by a professional. Hot takes.
Wow. Look, I during COVID, I stopped cutting my hair professionally, and I guess it's time.
Or you can just grow it out, live your best life.
Look, we've got a number of talks today, of course. The big one is discussing the Games Workshop reveals from last week's US Open finale. That was the GW Run event. We're going to be focusing on the event itself next week, where we're actually going to have a guest discussing the narrative side of the event. Today's all about the reveals across numerous game systems, 40K, Sigmar, and otherwise. And of course, we're also going to be discussing the Eightbound, hot or grot. People are hot or grot on this topic, frankly, and I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. And I know in this room we're actually divided 50-50, so it's going to be a ton of fun. With that, let's dive on in and have a good talk. All right, so of course, first talk of the day, all these big reveals. So US Open, they revealed tons of things for 40K, for Sigmar, for Necromunda, for Underworlds, and even Warcry, I believe. They have like a new warband, I think.
And I think Titans also revealed.
What?
Our dice!
Our dice are officially launched. Titans dice, you can buy them today at tabletoptitans.tv, which is our new website. And look, we even have them in stock, in store today, right here. They come in two types. They come in amethyst purple, which is basically like the transparent kind of gem look. And we also have original purple, which is a very matte look. We knew we wanted some matte dice because it's very unique. You hardly ever see them, except for Leon's dice. And so you guys can buy them right now, tabletoptitans.tv. Check them out. And we are, for now, limited time, doing fast shipping, a free upgrade to fast shipping for everyone. Try to get it there for the holidays. And we've done a couple things to basically reduce the cost on the shippings for you guys because we know it's that time of year, right?
And I believed last night during our members game, we set a goal.
We did set a goal. If we can sell half of what we have here, to start, we will release 2 new colors. So if you don't like purple, I don't know why you're watching this channel, but if you want other colors, just what I'm saying is just sell them like Girl Scout cookies.
Go sell them like Girl Scout cookies, door to door.
It's more of a pyramid scheme, isn't it? Because I'm basically saying you should buy them from us and then sell them to other people. That's what we need to do. Yeah.
Just gift them all. They're wonderful stocking stuffers.
Yeah, exactly. They are great stocking stuffers. So check them out. We'll be playing them throughout the week on the channel. Exciting stuff. So look, lots of reveals to discuss today. Let's dive on into it, shall we? So let's take a look. Of course, first of all, we have a number of 40K reveals. And part of this we'll, of course, discuss in the Hot or Grot, but big reveals on the side of the World Eaters, right? We've seen a couple models before. We saw the kind of named Lord on Juggernaut, the Lord Maleficus or something. We saw Angron. We saw the Berserkers. But we got a bit more today. It's funny we have this guy coming up first because he is, if we were doing a Hot or Grot, he is a little grot for me. Just in the sense because he doesn't quite stand up to the other Lord that we already had revealed when I was talking about. He kind of looks like he should be a squad of, Berserkers on Juggernauts. And oddly enough, they haven't announced anything like that. There's no like cavalry unit, right?
Yeah, when John was talking last night, he was like, "Oh, I'm really excited to see a Lord on Juggernaut," and this doesn't scream Lord to me. Like, think of how we responded to the Guard on Horse.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of feel that I want from like a really centerpiece model.
Exactly.
And this seems like he should come in a unit of 5. Like,
It seems, and that one seems like it would be like an easy unit to do, right? This guy, I think Lord Invocatus, that's the name, knocked it out of the park. This guy, a little bit less so, but still interesting to see new model. We also, of course, have a big question talking about what units we haven't seen, right? So we are not seeing the kind of Juggernaut cavalry. Red Butchers. I actually don't know if you know who the Red Butchers are, but they're the elite of the Terminators for the World Eaters. Yeah. So they kind of come originally from Horus Heresy. They kind of exist in the rules currently. But funny enough, I saw this image, and it has pictures of the current Chaos Terminators, which is like, well, is this telling us we're not getting Red Butchers? Or are we going to have regular and Red Butchers? I'm curious what you guys think in chat. This is just total speculation at this point, but I thought it was interesting that they included this image where it's like, yep, there's definitely Terminators, and they're not new kits.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of the releases have been like this, where we think we're going to get a really broad thing, and then we get some like really cool thing, but it's just one.
Yeah, exactly.
But World Eaters, speaking of, we have to thank Liam Dempsey, who just gifted 5 memberships. Absolute legend. Absolute legend.
Thank you, Liam.
Liam, you could go purchase some of our dice, still available.
This is 100% true. Can we get some, let's get some berserkers in chat for Liam, who also mentions in chat, this made me rage, Tabletop Titans. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. Again, maybe there's more coming. Maybe we're going to get the Red Butchers. Maybe we're going to get Juggernaut Cavalry. But I feel like I would have shown it by now if I was GW. I don't know. Let's see. Given the T-Sons, wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get new Terminators. Yep. World Eaters 10th edition. That I've also heard some people talk maybe about that. Like maybe there's going to be a second wave of these guys in the next edition. Look at all the berserkers flooding in. I love it. I think these are all possibilities, right? And this feels more in line with the Thousand Suns release, both of which kind of pale in comparison to the Death Guard release, which is like a massive line of models. So
I love that Duke Sean squeezed a little sisters in there.
Yeah.
Berserker, I see you, Duke.
Sister Berserker. It's like Duck, Duck, Goose, right? So yeah, let us know what you guys think, and if you have any questions as well.
And we have to thank Tea Time with Toby for gifting 5 membership and adding some teammates to the squad.
What up, teammates? Thanks so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Greatly appreciate it. So let's take a look at some of the other reveals here. I believe the next one is... I broke it.
It's just Red Terminators over and over again.
It's just Red Terminators forever.
Do you need to click out of the scene and start again?
I think I broke it, Mel. I think I broke it.
See, at least when I break it, I don't scream, I broke it.
I broke it. Oh,
I just hit the end button.
This has been happening every week for me.
This model.
This guy's awesome.
This.
Vashtorr.
Oh, he's so cool.
Talk about a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially someone like, this is not my army jam. This is not my model aesthetic. This is not any, like when we see like a Woodsy Elf release, we know Melanie will love it. But the fact that I love Vashtorr.
Right?
Is so fascinating to me because it's such a good model. I mean, look at those wings.
He's gorgeous.
Can we get it? And then I can put those wings on Alaria.
The like mechanical wings? That'd actually be super
so
sick.
Cool.
I think that sounds fantastic. Such a sick model. It's funny, in the video, they kind of went out of their way to be like, no, the wings don't work. They're like probably for like
this
doing
does not have fly keyword.
Engineering. Yeah, basically, right? They have stated he is not a demon prince. He is like from the warp itself. People are going to get him and use him as demon prince.
I'm like, you're going to get him and use it as demon. Is this demon prince number 19?
So the problem is I want to have Vashtorr too, so I have to get 2 copies.
And then we need another Vashtorr so I can steal the wings.
Exactly. So three for us, please. James, if you're sending out copies, 3, please.
Or just the wing sprue.
Just the wing sprue.
Just the wing sprue.
Exactly. He's super cool, and in the lore, he is this kind of master manipulator. He is the creator of these Arks of Omen, these dark arcs that are basically space hulks that are being used for something. We don't quite know what. And he's working with Abaddon. So, they mention Warpsmiths love him. The Dark Mechanicus love him. Obviously, this says, I openly was like, Dark Admech's coming, this is exciting. Clearly I'm wrong, at least in the short term. We might see them later on.
Maybe it's a 10th ed thing.
Yeah, could be a 10th ed thing. But this guy, he's a nice consolation prize, I would say. And super cool looking model, so.
The Claven asked, could this be a Demon Prince model? Yes.
100%.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be a great conversion. You will, because he is like a unique character, you might want to do some conversion so you don't confuse your opponent and seem misleading. Yeah, someone says he's a demigod. Yeah, he's like an actual, like a right proper demon, which is cool. Funny enough, Bellicor does not like him. And Zach's not here to talk smack about Bellicor.
Oh.
So
I like Bellicor. So we do have a super chat from the Chris TV. Right now, World Eaters doesn't fill me with hope for the unannounced, but at this point, inevitable Emperor's Children launch in 10th.
Yes, absolutely. I too wanted the Emperor's Children as well, but I think we'll get them eventually.
Yeah.
Time will tell. And look, it's going to be that much better when it does arrive. But I think, yeah, we're probably a few years out again, sadly. Despite the rumors of actually Fulgrim coming back into the game in a major way. So I don't know. Odds on Dark Mechanicus. I think this speaks better about the potential for Dark Mechanicus than it does Emperor's Children. But yeah, more than a Demon Prince, Vincent says. He gets empowered for inventions. He's super cool. He's super cool.
He's just so cool.
That's, look, he's not the hot or grot today because everyone knows he's cool.
He's totally hot.
There's no question. He's super hot. So that is him. This is, of course, the kind of announcements that they made for the Arks of Omen. Speaking of 10th edition, this really is starting to smack of end of edition campaign, right? They've announced this is going to be a 4-part series that's going to culminate in a big event. And so the first 3 books have been announced, and they're all kind of themed around a character. We have Abaddon first, we have Angron second, we have Vashtorr third. And the 4th unknown, unreleased, kind of an unannounced book, they've said is going to be a entirely Xenos affair. So very interesting, because notably in all these reveals, no Xenos, no Eldar, no Orcs, no Tau, no Tyranids, no Necrons. Kind of crazy. But for at least a good while, we'll be focusing on Chaos.
I mean, here's my hot take.
Okay.
I think they're just using this to sell more books. In general, I don't know if I've said this on stream or not, but I'm very against the constant reproduction of books.
Sure, yeah.
I see just the amount we have in our house, how costly they are, how difficult it makes for everyone to have accessibility and reading the rules and everything. So to me, this just screams as like another book drive.
Yeah, and you've been doing this long enough to have seen the cycle too. Like we think about the end of 7th edition leading up to the big release of 8th. We had the books with like Gilliman and the Triad and Aeneid and everything, and it was like exciting and all these crazy big rules. And then immediately the next edition dropped, and the last book was valid for like a month. So there are concerns there for sure, and hopefully they've learned from their lessons. We'll see. I think it helps that there's no new like army rules per se.
That's fair.
Right? It's like a way of playing the game that if they're smart, will carry over to the next edition, right? Which you couldn't do if there's data sheets.
I do love that it's character-centered. I love this like more narrative version of it. I do say we have a super chat on World Eaters.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
So thank you, Inks. Opposite take. The models are awesome for World Eaters. I am hyped. It will come down to rules and how fun they are to play.
I think 100%. And I think some people are concerned about their viability, very melee-based faction, all that stuff. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Inks. It's all about secondaries. It's about scoring, and so we've seen how you can fix a faction with just secondaries.
It's all secondaries.
It's entirely you can have a terrible army, but if you're able to score your stuff before you die, then
it's just
you're good.
I think that's the hardest part is like trying to predict what's like, oh, are the World Eaters going to be good? Like even like what was the Guard going to be good? Like what secondaries do they have, and what can we use to supplement that? Because as we've seen with Necrons, if you have the right secondaries, it doesn't really matter what the rules are
Yeah.
for your army.
Exactly.
But are you excited for this book release?
I am excited for the book release. I definitely have some thoughts on it. Some reservations. Overall, though, I'm excited. I'm excited to play through the missions. And let's talk about that right after this.
Thank you, Vindicatus, for gifting 10 memberships.
Vindicatus!
So much love. Thank you all so much. Tuesdays have been a blast because of all the new members.
Yes, it's been so exciting.
So love it. Come hang out with me on Tuesdays.
What up, Vindicatus? Let's talk about. I don't have many beefs with the releases that came out this weekend,
Yeah.
but I thought this one was
it was
funny.
a fun week.
It was super fun, right? So, I have a little quote from GW here.
Oh.
We're pulling out we've got receipts, Mel.
We've got receipts. Okay.
So this is for the boarding actions, which they've said is part of at least the first book, right? You're fighting in the ships. You're using like the Shadow Vaults terrain, for example, and you're fighting through the corridors. It's very like Zone Mortalis, super cool. And they say this. I can't actually read the quote right
I
now
was
'cause
like,
it's so
how
far
could you
away.
read that?
But basically, they say this is not Kill Team. This is. I really shouldn't like. Anyways, they're saying that basically it's whole armies, it's entire armies that are fighting, and you're like, cool, that sounds great, but it's a little bit odd because this sentiment is preceded by this statement, which says these are 500-point games. So they're whole armies that are a quarter of the normal playing size, and like. I know I'm just being nitpicky here. I think if it's small scale, it's fine, but I would have really liked to see this be full-scale games. I'm a lot less interested. 500 points is almost the worst way to play. I think if you're building up, it's a good way to get started,
Yeah,
but the
with an
balance is weird.
acceleration, yeah.
It should be Kill Team at that point. So
It is. I mean, isn't it? It's like.
Kill Team is like, if you had to translate, maybe 250 points.
Okay.
But it's a game designed to be played at that scale, whereas 40K is not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We have a couple boxes of this terrain already. We'll see when the rules come out. Maybe we can force like a bigger points game and just like have fun with it and see what happens.
This sounds like a Friday.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else caught that. I thought it was a little bit odd for them to word it in that way.
Well, thank you, Vindicatus. I love all the new World Eater models, except for the Exalted Eightbound.
Oh!
Why do they not wear shoes? Ew. We're going to get to this. Not the shoes
will.
part, because I'm adding that into my list of thoughts.
Yeah, that's entirely fair.
Because I did not notice.
I didn't even notice the shoe thing until just now, actually. I'll be honest. Look, this is actually the next thing in the reveals, because this is kind of the main 40K stuff we talked about. You notice we haven't pulled up the 8-bound, even when we're talking about the World Eaters release. So, you know what, Mel? I think it's time. All right, here we are. Welcome to Hotter Grot, 8-bound edition. Thank you, Vindicatus. It was right on cue somehow.
It's like we planted him.
I know, seriously. We'll pay you later and refund your super chat.
Don't make promises.
This is clearly
you can't
a
keep.
good.
We can't. We have no idea how to do that. We would have to call Bridger. Brian would have to get involved. Everyone's gone.
Kill Team was 120 points. Yeah, so even smaller. Yeah, because it's like one squad, maybe two sometimes. So 8-bound, new unit for the World Eaters.
I'm trying to see. Oh my gosh, they don't have shoes.
They're chunky boys. They come in units of 3, looks like, or groups of 3 at least. This kit builds 2 versions. It builds the 8-bound and then the Exalted 8-bound. The lore behind them, a little goofy, I'll admit. I'll be the first to admit that. Basically, you know why they're called the 8-bound? You know why, Mel? So
no, Adrian, tell me why.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. So Khorne's number is 8. That's great.
Great.
That should be all the reason they need. But instead they said, you know what? For the 8-bound, we take 8 demons and we put them into one of these guys. And he has 8 demons fighting for his body and his soul, which it's just like so extra. Like possessed have like 1 demon traditionally, one soul that's like fighting over them. So they're like to have 8. I guess it's very metal, it's very anime, but it feels a little bit excessive. And so we basically have the 8-bound and the Exalted 8-bound, and the Exalted 8-bound have kind of fully emerged from this like metamorphosis basically, and they've like kind of coalesced with the demon fully. So they're like more elite versions.
Do they have 8 little things in the back of their heads?
So this is a fun fact. I'm so glad you asked. This is why, I'm gonna be totally honest. I think these models are hot.
Oh.
And you think that they're
Grot. They're
grot.
Grot.
Okay.
This was like, do you guys have like normal conversations over breakfast? Because we fought about these models this morning over breakfast.
Yeah.
Because to me, they look old, they look chunky, they look like they were produced in the early 2000s.
Wow.
Like, we have like such fine, beautiful, finessed models. And like, yeah, I have a bias against Khorne, we all know that. But like, they just look, they look old.
They look old.
They look old.
They're not supposed to be pretty. It's like, and this is probably a little bit unfair, but it's like when people are like, I don't like this character, they're unlikable. And you're like, well, the point of the character isn't to like them, right? The point of these guys is not to look, I'd say cool. They can look cool, but they're not supposed to look like good per se, right? They are brutal and primal and bloody. And the things in the back of their head, Mel? So this is the Butcher's Nails, right? Which are basically coming from where Angron crash landed on his planet, and he was raised in the fighting pits as a slave fighter. And they actually do put these like implants in the back of their head that like makes it so they're basically constantly in pain unless they're fighting, unless they're being like angry and raging.
Okay.
So it like breeds this aggression. And so famously his Legion had those implanted. And so that's what's in the back. And so of course they had to have no helmets so they could show that.
Well, Willow is definitely on your side. Says, easy to dislike them because it's not what we wanted or expected, but they are very cool and brutal in their own right. I really wanted Red Butchers after seeing the Death Guard and Thousand Suns Terminators.
Yes,
sad face.
That's very true. And I did see a couple of you guys' comments in the beginning. We were talking about Red Butchers saying that, yeah, maybe these are basically the replacement for Red Butchers, kind of like the modern version.
But thank you, Big Bad Peter Gaming, who agrees with me that they are grot.
They're grot?
They are grot.
That's all he says?
They just say Eightbound or grot. I agree.
Wow.
And I don't think, it's not that like, I don't think they're beautiful. I think the model sculpt looks dated.
Interesting. The kind of big features.
The big features. There's no like, I'm not impressed with any of like the design. Whereas like, even if we think of the Lord on Juggernaut?
The Juggernaut Lord, yeah.
The Juggernaut Lord, like that looks like very advanced, delicate even for that. So to me, these look dated. That's all. That's my only beef with them.
I think I was trying to say it's fair. I don't know if it's fair, but I'm just kind of getting the vibe. We are going to put up the poll soon, but YouTube polls do this weird thing where you can't change your vote. So, giving a bit of a chance for some discussion. Belgo says they are hot. Matthew says, what did Matthew Nurgle? Matthew Nurgle, what do you think? Luke says they're grot AF. Grot, super hot. Juggler's proportions are very on point. Yeah, I agree.
See, but here's the thing. Like, I think that this is still probably a win for GW because they are polarizing a bit, but like, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Sure, yeah.
Right? Like,
they have flavor, they have personality.
They have flavor, they have personality. They don't have to be everyone's cup of tea. But could I have seen them like go a different way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's the dual kit I'm kind of like whatever on.
Me and Laura are on the same page, so that's all I care about.
Let's see. That's true.
Carl Noren says, I think they're fine. What would that be? Meh? Ma pot? Hot, grot, or ma pot?
Hot, grot, or ma pot? I love it. We need to add a new segment.
I love it. Thank you, Carl.
That's really
funny. Thank you, digital designer. I don't know if I can call them grot or hot. I think they're just heretical. # purge the demon. Brought to you by your resident GK paladin.
Yeah, that's entirely
So they're
fair.
ma pot.
Ma pot. It's a mix. Well, I'm really curious to see how this poll comes out. I am going to go ahead and type it up for you guys.
This sounds great. I'm hanging out with chat then while you type that out.
Yeah, let's do it.
But in general, I think as if you are a World Eaters player, I think Ma Pot is the conclusion, right? I think we thought they were going to get way more than they did, but what they did was great in a lot of cases. Besides these. So yeah, I don't know. I know Liam said something at some point. I'm sure we're going to transfer everyone over to Liam's show, and I imagine Liam, who plays World Eaters, will have a lot more to say about this release.
Yeah, Liam's a big World Eater guy. Shocking.
I know. You're like, do you know Red Butchers? I'm like, did I not produce like 7 games with
That's
Liam?
True. I forgot about that. That's true. So pull us up. We shall see if it is hot or grot.
I get to vote. Love it.
No! Aren't you on Zach's account?
I am on Zach's account.
Zach, what would Zach say to these? I think he would think they're hot.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Ryan King, thank you so much. Grot, because they got chain glaives before Night Lords.
No, I know. What's up with that?
Fair opinion. Fair opinion.
Fair. Did you see? You saw. I know you saw it. The one guy that has like a buzz saw in his hand. It's a little much.
And they apparently don't have shoes.
Yeah, because they spent all their money on chain hands.
I feel like shoes are important for any corn army.
I feel like they're. You know what? You know, we're always joking about how like ruins, broken glass, metal. That's like fine to move through, but a forest. Watch out! You're gonna trip on the forest because that's -2 movement. You know, I get it now. They're not wearing shoes. That doesn't actually help. No, doesn't make sense. So right now, pretty close. We are slightly in the lead with hot. Bit potential. Zach would approve. Yeah, for sure. So let that stew for a minute. This is largely the 40K reveals that we saw over this past weekend. So exciting stuff. Definitely looking forward to all the stuff. I'm going to be working on World Leaders myself now that I'm wrapping up on the current Emperor's Children project, which public game is going to be this Saturday for the Emperor's Children. So tune in for that. You can see Army I've been working on for a while now. So check it out.
Liam did chime in. Thank you so much, Liam, for the super chat. Did a stream on Sunday all about it. Long story short, models are pretty, but disappointing range release overall. I really hope the rules save them. So I'm in caveat, hope the secondaries save them. But yeah, Liam, go over and check out Liam's channel. And if you're interested about the World Leaders release, definitely look at his Sunday release.
I've checked that out. I totally missed that. So I appreciate it, Liam.
Oh, you mean your one day where we don't stream?
I sadly did have to stream on Sunday.
Oh, you did? You were streaming Magic.
Yeah, because we had to move the Magic show.
If you didn't know, we have a new channel, Magic Titans.
Like and subscribe. All right, guys, we're closing the vote in 30 seconds, which is exactly when you're going to hear this message. How you doing, Mel?
I'm great.
Yeah, having a good time?
I'm great, especially since you told me I was going to be on this morning.
Yeah. Look, it's the holidays. We've got the relatives coming in as we speak. Our house is not going to be our own.
I think the poll's decided you can close it. It's not moving.
57?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, as someone who watches polls all the time, it's 173 votes. That would need to be like a 10-person shift.
Well, there it is. The people have spoken. They're officially hot, but it is close. Like, ultimately, it is actually quite close, which is what I figured. People are kind of divided. It's a little mop potty here.
It's a little mop potty.
Mop potty. I don't know about that. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us for another segment of of Hot or Grot.
Or Mop Pot.
Or Mop Pot, exactly. So, of course, moving right along, we do have some more reveals to discuss, and they're quite spicy. So, let's see. What should we do? Let's talk about the Beasts of Chaos.
Oh, the goats.
The goats.
Why? Why, GW?
Let's start with
Goatman.
Goatman. So they revealed the new, there's 2 new battle tomes coming out, the Gitz and the Beasts of Chaos. Super excited, because Gitz are my favorite Sigmar army, and I'm literally working on Beasts right now. This is the new Beast Lord, which I think looks cool.
I think it's a cool model. I think the model is cool.
You didn't like the trailer.
Who decided to do that?
The goat trailer?
Okay, here's the thing. Yeah. All of them, we had jingle bells with things, all of them usually do an art style, and they're like, you know what we need? Actual videos of goats.
Yeah.
What?
It feels like someone watched the other videos and knows the concept of the style that they do, but then just didn't execute on it. It was a little weird. I was
so thrown out. Yeah. We watched them all. We were going through the releases, and then suddenly there's just real goats, and I was just and they're like, "Bah, goat man!"
Yeah, it's a very weird take, honestly.
I was and the thing is, I feel like videos of live goats is marketed to people like me who love animals, and it just felt wrong.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. I am excited though for the new book.
The new book?
It's gonna be great.
But you have feelings about the new book.
I do have feelings. So as you guys saw, I have thoughts about the cover. I don't like this new cover. He's like, "I'm the Beast Man."
No, he's not.
Ah! He's like. It looks so derpy, so I'm not a fan, but I am a fan of this OG cover, which we started with. I love this cover. This is why Beasts of Chaos are awesome, and ultimately I am excited. But maybe I'll print this cover and like put it on the front of the new one.
Just put a picture of a real baby goat.
Oh, that would be good too. See, now it's funny again, guys.
Now it's funny.
That's
So
how you
yeah,
do it, James.
love the model. I think the model's great.
Yeah, the model's really cool.
Don't understand why Goatman's on the cover in his, like, is he summoning more goats? In the trailer, I just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Oh, this Captain Mannering's Ben is leading up to one of the things that I'm very excited about. When are we done with Goatman?
We're done with Goatman.
Gloomy shrooms up, Gitz lads coming for you.
Yeah, let's do this thing. So, okay. Let me caveat this.
We also have feelings.
Let me because we have lots of feelings about these. We are excited for all these releases. We just have feelings about them.
Like
right?
we're definitely gonna own Goatman, but
yeah,
like
for sure. This next one is kind of leaning into the other announced. Oh yeah. So the Grognar Grumble for today is looking at the announced Gloomspite Gitz release, and they announced kind of the return of a classic unit, which is Goblin Wolf Riders. Now, this is my OG like fantasy army, which was Orcs and Goblins, with a focus on Goblins. I love Goblins, and so this unit is back. My only problem with it, and this is a concern that I think a lot of Gitz players have, is the way that the Gloomspite Gitz army is organized. Is there's basically 3 different subsections, right? You have your Night Goblins, you have your Squig Riders and Squig units, and then you have the Trolls. Actually, that's not even true. There's actually a 4th one, which is the Spider Fang. And so, and with the Night Goblins are kind of more spread among them. But they have like there's these different sections of the army that give you different buffs, and they synergize well. This unit feels like a different army now. You know, I know that the Underworld's Warband you can play in Gloomspite Gitz currently, but that's kind of different because it's like a one-off little unique warband. This, I want this to be a different army. Frankly, like I want the like Doom Diver and the Rock Labas and the like traditional grots and the sneaky stabbers to be like their own goblin faction. So really this is about goblin representation in the game. And I don't think that they should be in this book. I think they deserve their own book, you know?
See, I think that was a really advanced way to say, where are the mushrooms?
Where are the mushrooms?
There's no mushrooms.
Yes.
There's no, why, this.
It's so weird.
What?
I worry that they're not going to like get any support because they're not going to have the keywords that everything else has.
Oh, so you think they're definitely going to be like this oddball unit?
That's my concern.
Like the centaurs in my army.
Yeah, well, and that's a Underworld's warband, I think, originally. So, anyways, slightly concerned. These models are super sick, and I'm gonna get them.
I want them
awesome.
in my Space Wolves army.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. However, let me see if I have a thing for this. Funny enough, do I have it here? Nope. We're gonna go back.
Let's see. I don't play OS, but I love these Wolves and Goblins inks. Yeah, definitely.
They're super cool.
Thank you, the Chris TV. Gitz, nah, we going full squig.
Full squig, son!
Love the squigs. But then this came out. What? Yeah.
This was super random. This is, again, an Underworld's warband, but like this is the reason you play Gitz, right?
Look at it. Those
Wacky goblins.
So we were watching the reviews, and I'm like, wait, did you go in the wrong order? Is this Gloomspite Gitz?
Yeah.
And then like the other one is Underworld? Look at them.
And ultimately, you'll be able to play these. Like I said, all of these warbands have rules in Sigmar, and they're a bit more flavorful than like the way that 40K does it. So you'll be able to play them. These are awesome. So excited to get these. They're gonna be a ton of fun to paint. Hopefully fun to play. Like this is so sick.
One of them is like slingshotting a squig.
Yeah.
I was like, these are the models I need to play on Thursday for my squig bombs.
Yeah, they're adorable.
So amazing. They're so good.
Oh my gosh. Beyond excited for the announcement of this battle tome. I've been waiting for so long.
Good. Like, we're going to fight about who gets to paint these.
Yeah. Liam T says, yeah, is it a sign of things to come? Are they going to go multi-allegiance like Aurochs and Ogors? I could see that, right? Because the Auroch book, you know, which is the one I'm more familiar with, they have all these very bespoke sub-allegiances, and Gloomspite might end up doing this. You know, I think when Sigmar first came out, they took all the Warhammer Fantasy factions and kind of scattered them to the winds. You know, everything was a teeny tiny sub-faction, and then over the years we've seen them like, some of them they've taken and expanded, others they've kind of consolidated into like one kind of mega army again, and we've kind of seen this shift over time. So it 100% could be a vision of things to come that can maybe help make it more cohesive even than it is now. Yeah.
So Nick says the Loon Court is so cool because they are a callback to old-style GW monopose meta models. They're so simple but also characterful without being overproduced.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I like that.
I am a fan of, I'm just going to say, I'm a fan of the newer kind of style sculpts. They are harder to repose, but they also look amazing, you know? And
look at those squigs.
Oh, so cool. That's like, a slingshot right there.
And there's mushrooms, right? Here are the mushrooms.
The mushrooms!
If you don't know, I have a whole mushroom-themed Sylvaneth army, so clearly I'm obsessed, but...
yeah, you have a slight mushroom obsession.
I do. I have a problem. I have a problem. Adrian should not have taught me how to 3D print mushrooms, because I put them on everything.
It's very dangerous.
You literally just talked me out of sculpting the mushrooms onto the back of my beetle. And by the way, my beetle's galaxy themed, so like we're already out there. And you're like, you can be done.
Yes.
I was like, never.
No, it's never enough. That's the thing. Look, it's exciting stuff, and this is ultimately why I play Sigmar. So yeah, that's a grumble. That's not really a grumble, and we're still excited for more Sigmar reveals.
Oh, I think so. I have to say, I agree with Claven. This was my favorite reveal.
This one?
Yeah.
I'd be curious in chat. Let us know, what was your favorite reveal from this past weekend? What was my favorite reveal? I think the book itself for Gloomspite is my favorite reveal. We just didn't get much it's like not much taste of what's to come. I don't know.
Vashtorr?
I felt like all of them were. I was so excited for.
I mean, and this is to say, we're like grumbly, but it's like when you have like all the candy, and you're like critiquing some of the candy, like we're still gluttonous over here and enjoying our feast.
Gitz.
Yeah, Gitz.
Yes, the Gitz are coming in.
Huge pack of wolf Gitz. Like I said, I think those models are great. I will try to convert them to my Space Wolves army.
Yeah.
They just like, they showed us Gloomspite Gitz, the cover of the book. They're mushrooms. Literally our Titan chat was like, mushrooms! And then there was not a single mushroom on there.
I am curious to see the scale of them, the size of them. But that would be really cool, actually, is if they are big enough to use for Space Wolves as like a newer sculpt. I think the current Thunderwolf Cav, they look good, but this would be super interesting. And we'll also have to see how they come on the sprues, right? Can we pop them out? Stuff like that. Getting some world leaders stuff here.
Melanie says, Vashtorr.
Vashtorr! Yeah. He gets from Warcry.
Age of Squigmar, yeah.
Yes! It's exciting stuff, everybody. I cannot wait. Very nice. Well, honestly, we had so much to talk about. We've kind of been...
Well, I have a super chat that I didn't know where to fit in. So thank you, the Claven. I think 500 points for Arks can work if you limit models available. If you go out there with a Demon Prince or a Tau Commander, that's too much killy.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, they are going to be implementing some restrictions. So they mentioned, like, you can't take big battle tanks and monsters and stuff like that. I don't think you can have a Dreadnought, but that'd be cool. Because you're fighting in these very close quarters. So they're going to be doing some limitations for this, but I think there will still be some units that are just going to be a big problem. Well, maybe. I'd have to see the rules. Yeah. So like Demon Prince monsters, you probably can't take it. And then Tau Commander, I don't know how mobile they'll be because I don't, like, going through these corridors, I don't know like how maneuverable you're going to end up actually being. Like you can't, I'm going to assume you can't just like jump from one corridor to another. Like you have to like go through the winding maze.
Yeah.
So maybe it's okay. Be curious to see how they handle the balance on this thing, right?
Yeah, I think because you're going to need like small scale, unique models. Like I can imagine you running like an apothecary with a bunch of termies, that type of, to get up to 500 points.
No dread. Yeah, I'm not. Can someone confirm about the dread thing? I'm not entirely sure. You cannot have aircraft in a spaceship, Kenochi.
I think you should be able to.
Not allowed.
Do it.
No airplanes in the hallway.
Do it. Do it.
No.
Thank you, Big Bad Peter Gaming. Arks of Omen was most excised about.
Yeah, very excited about Arks of Omen. I'm just super curious. You know, we decided it was hot to not have, War Scroll rules, and and like actual like model rules in a campaign. So now we're gonna see, do we actually like it, and do we like the sort of other rules that come out of it? But I think it'll be fun. We'll definitely play it on the channel. Try it out.
Yeah. You're gonna be busy.
Gonna be very busy.
Because you have a World Eaters army.
I know.
Now. You have a Gloomspite gig army.
No, this is going to be very busy, and I'm working on Beasts, which I am taking to the Sigmar Teams tournament next weekend.
Ah, yes. Yes, we did a practice game for Adrian, and he eviscerated my Sylvaner. I mean, I did Darth Perils twice on all of my spellcasters with Titan dice.
That was crazy.
User error, clearly user error. But yeah, your Beastmen are great. Do you have to like make a goat noise every time you play?
Yeah. Mine are more like, so I'm playing a lot of Tzeentch stuff, so it's like bird beastmen. So they're like, I think that's what they sound like.
No. Let's see. Stir Crazy asks, can I bring my Seraptic Adrian?
What? Can I bring my Seraptic?
Yes.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think
no Seraptics in the hallway either. And I have some people confirming in chat, no monsters, no vehicles.
No monsters, I'm out.
Yeah, well that's like the no Demon Prince thing, right? But this is 40k, it's 40k. So
I'm out.
You can still have Thunder Cav. You can have cavalry. Wait a minute, hold on. You can have cavalry in these things. That's kind of cool, actually.
Ponies in the hallway. Ponies in the hallway.
So you're a writer. Like, how do you think cavalry would be good in a corridor space or bad? These are military horses.
They're military
so
horses.
They're well trained.
They're well trained, but they'll be huge. Also, horses. Yeah, I don't want to be on an animal that might spook in a hallway.
Right.
But then again, cavalry horses would be excellent. It would have to be horses because like cows can't go downstairs.
Well, I guess cows could be cavalry.
So like I'm thinking of anything with like cleft foot. I don't know.
Like a goat man?
Like a goat. Can a goat man go downstairs? Like, because specifically cows can't, like they have a hard time walking downstairs.
Right.
So here, I need a vet or someone in chat who knows, like, can goats, I mean, goats can jump, I guess.
Yeah, they can definitely go downhill.
This is not the direction you wanted this conversation to go.
No. This is not what I was expecting.
This is what you should have expected, knowing you were about to ask me if horses should go in the hallway.
No, but it's like a real question. Like, I don't, like, cavalry in a small space, I think on the charge would be amazing and terrifying for the enemy. But then, like, the maneuverability and being able to, like, turn around and, like, traditionally, like, not tradition. I don't actually know anything about mounted combat, but, like, you'd want to like be able to swing out of combat and charge back in. That's the way it works in Total War, at least.
Yeah,
you can't do that in a corridor. You're like turning your cavalry around. Like probably not very feasible.
Do like Melody was like, when was cow an option?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mountain goats. Yeah.
Sleepy Gary wants Adrian to make cow noises. That is not a cow noise.
Sorry. The ghosts, they just go, ah! Ah! That's why they're great.
No, you do to a goat, and then they pass out.
Screaming goats. They pass out after they scream?
So there's goats that, like, their defense mechanism is just to drop.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a good defense mechanism.
Nope, not at all.
Wait, how did that, like, evolutionarily, what? I think they would just get
Goats
eaten.
are really fragile, fun fact.
Oh, I had no idea. Look, fair enough.
Lore Brand, yes, horses are excellent at stairs.
Horses are excellent. Yeah, absolutely. Horse in a hotel and elevator. Fair enough.
I've seen mini horses in hotel elevators.
Yeah. This is the episode where Adrian screams. Yeah. Look, Zach just left us alone, so.
Yeah, Adrian last night was like ending Tuesday stream, and he's like, yeah, I'll see you all next time with, and then you saw his brain go, Zach's out of town, John's out of town, Bridger's out of town, and just looked at me.
I was like, I'll be there, talking about the stuff. And then the stream ended, I was like, so, Mel, what you doing tomorrow before your parents arrive? Yeah. Well, I think we're starting to wrap things up. So let's talk a bit about what's coming up on the channel. Look, it is American Thanksgiving tomorrow. And so this means that we're going to be doing big eats later on. And so we're going to have an early episode, but it is a special episode. Every year on Tabletop Titans, we celebrate the classic tradition of Tanksgiving, where we have tanks focused battles. This year, we of course are integrating it into our narrative campaign, Wa Go Blad, and so it's going to be naturally orcs, this time with a emphasis on grot tanks, because it's been too long. Grot tanks, you got to bring them out.
We all know why you guys are going to attend. It's for the squig bombs.
Yeah. Oh, there's going to be so many squig bombs tomorrow, you have no idea. Like,
because I give tanks
Yeah.
to the squid gods.
That's true. Tanks for the, yeah, exactly. And then facing off against them, we are going to be bringing Jonte in with all the Blood Angel vehicles that we have, which is to say, not 2,000 points. And so they're going to be accompanied by an ally from the previous episode. We're going to have a Baneblade or a Shadow Sword, one big boy guard tank. Because of course in the last episode we saw the guard fighting against the orcs, so we have a bit of a kind of connection from that spin-off episode. So that's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so earlier than our normal show. Friday, no Take a Spin. Zach's out of town. Saturday, we're going to be back at it with John. I was going to say against John. Against John.
Adrian and I teaming up against John.
And that's kind of how it goes.
That seems
right?
OP.
And so I'm going to be playing my brand new Emperor's Children. We just played them last night for the first time with the members. A ton of fun. I have a lot of Noise Marines. It's super fun, flavorful, lots of conversions. And I'm going to be playing against the Sisters of Battle, played by John. So it's going to be an interesting test. It's going to be cool because I think Sisters have a lot of good counters against the Emperor's Children. You know, they have damage reduction, which is great for all the damage too. They also have auto-deny psychic powers on 4+. Kind of a problem because my list isn't designed to do psychic secondary. So it's going to be a ton of fun. And of course, Titan Dice. If you want to get it soon, I really would encourage you guys to order them sooner than later because the upgrade to fast shipping is going to be for limited time/quantity. So definitely, I would get those ordered in now. And it's hard to give like a guarantee of like when they'll be delivered, but they are shipping very, very soon and generally quickly. So I think many orders you'll be receiving them within a couple weeks. So, you know.
Getting them before the holidays is a possibility, but not a guarantee.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's 20 dice in the box, so 20 dice, full size.
25 American dollar dues, and gets you 20 dice. So it's a good deal. It's a lot of dice for that price.
I can't wait to go to LVO and see all the Titan dice.
Yes! I mean, it's cool because you'll see someone rolling it and like, you know.
You know.
If you know, you know.
You know.
You know? So that's going to be a ton of fun. Any other questions or super chats before we wrap this
Let me
party up?
check through. Yeah, Liam, you should have been here in November. Just saying. Should have hung out.
Yeah, that's
Sweet
true.
Bombs.
That's true.
Let's see. Melody, I expect you on Saturday because we need to make sure that John actually remembers his miracle dice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Melody also just put up the link to the website in chat where you guys can check out those dice. Yeah, look.
I think that's all.
What size are the dice? The dice are the big size of dice. Someone asked us if they're 16 millimeter, which is the correct.
I think.
So traditionally, there's like big and small style dice.
These
So
are
like,
big dice.
These
right?
are big dice. These are big dice. Guys, I'm sorry. They're about an inch. Huh?
I believe they're technically 16 millimeters.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you
Don't
go.
quote. Didn't we have like a
That's Dr. Mel right there. Yeah, we have an actual like digital calipers. But I just
doctorate in
use,
political science is totally going to help you measure.
look, you're a doctor. That's all that matters. That's all I'm saying.
Let's see.
Yeah, have you done proper quality check on the statistical accuracy? No?
Oh, last night it was horrifying. I was like taking note every time we rolled a 5. There was way too many
Oh
fives.
my God, the first like 5 minutes, it was like 5, 5, 5, 5. And I was like,
Yeah,
was not-
polychrome is correct. They are hippo-sized dice.
hippo-sized dice. Yeah,
Yeah. I was like,
standard.
I was like, yeah, this is why we need large sample sizes in statistics, because right now these have a 50-50 shot of rolling 5s.
Yes. Look, if you roll them properly, they'll always roll 6s.
Okay, polychrome. I don't know what 16 millimeters is.
Yeah.
I was learned in the United States, where we are refusing to update to the correct way of measuring things.
I don't know if they're 16 millimeter.
They're not?
I don't know. They're about an inch.
They're bigger than small dice. We will get this answer. I will measure it.
I'm sure there's like a scientific way to prove this.
I'm sure there's, I love the best. Everyone's like, don't you guys have measuring tapes right in your hands? And then you're like, this is when they realize the Titans don't know where the millimeters are on the measuring tape.
Bunch of animals.
Digital designer, 0.6 inches. Is this 0.6 inches?
No, these are not 0.6
I like
inches.
using it like,
They're
well,
not
my
16
thumb
millimeters.
is about an inch.
Yeah, no. These are bigger than that. Wonderful. Well, with that, Mel, thank you for joining me. It's been fun. Everyone, thank you in chat for discussing with us, sharing your thoughts and ideas. It's always exciting to talk about new stuff coming up. And of course, lots of things going on next week. We'll even just dive further into the event last weekend, talking about the narrative side of the experience. Very unique event. So do join us for that. Join us for the streams throughout the week. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you celebrate that. And if not, just have a wonderful week. We'll catch you guys next time on the tabletop. Bye.